Hello and welcome to this workshop on Dress Your Personal Brand. And we're really just interested in finding out how we can express ourselves more fully, how we can put our personality to the forefront in how we dress. And I'm joined today by Kerry Ellis, and I'll let her introduce myself. My name is Katrina Horn, and I'm a life coach, and I'm delighted to see you here today. So over to you, Kerry.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Kerry Ellis. I'm an image consultant and stylist. So I've been helping ladies and men with their wardrobe and helping them to express their personal brand for about 18 years now. So I'm hoping we're going to have a really fun workshop. And as always, I always say just ask me lots of questions and pick my brains. Feel free as we go through. But I was delighted to be asked by Katrina to run this joint workshop with her. So hopefully we're going to have lots of fun and lots of questions and you'll enjoy the workshop.
Right. I certainly hope so too. So at the end of this workshop, ideally, you will have had some opportunity to think about how you express yourself in the clothes you wear, and how you could perhaps enhance your personality. And I, for my part, would also like to talk about our personality and really what it entails and how we can actually influence it. So to get us started, maybe Carrie could talk about why it really matters how we style and present ourselves. Could you tell us about the importance of that, if you don't mind?
Of course, of course. But the first thing I would say is that it's an inside job as much as anything. So I believe there's a massive connection between the way we feel about ourselves, so our mindset, and what we wear. So if you get up in the morning and you put some clothes on and they help you to feel really good and you feel like you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you go, yeah, I feel good today. That's a massive boost. So for me, the inner confidence piece is probably the most important bit. The other bit, though, is that your clothes talk effectively. So your clothes tell people about you before you've even opened your mouth. And there's lots of statistics and lots of research that's been done into first impressions and how we can make a first impression within, well, they're now saying less than 30 seconds, actually, scarily. And it's mainly because we spend our life on these things, don't we? These cameras. And so we're interacting with images all day long. So we take in all these visual clues. And whether we like to think about this or not, we do make sort of snap judgments. I don't know if anybody has read the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, but that's all about how we make snap judgments about all sorts of things. But one of them is in terms of, what we see, and your personal presentation is the thing that people see first and foremost, even if we're on little boxes like this, we're taking in, the visual part of the person, the people we're seeing before us. So it makes a massive difference from mindset point of view. It makes a massive difference in terms of the first impression that you're going to make on somebody. And then it also communicates in terms of the type of person you are. And that's why I talk about style personality, because we pick up all these little clues about people, whether you're dressed in a really, I don't know, relaxed way, or whether you're dressed in a quite formal way, or whether you, like me, I like my bling. You can see all my bling here, So I've got a bit of drama going on in my outfit because I quite like drama and fashion and being, with it and all that kind of thing. So your clothes can give clues as to who you are. And if you want to think of it from a sort of more serious point of view, if you like, I was asked to go on Sky News actually and talk about how the politicians dressed before the election here in the UK. So that's how much importance people put on it because they recognise that we are reading these signals. Another example is if you think about any of the leaders around the world and how they dress. And sometimes the column inches, instead of being about what they've said, which is what we should all be tuned to, the column inches, what gets written about them is oftentimes, what they're wearing. So there's even Barack Obama, which I know lots of people thought he was a fantastic president, and I'm not here to question any of that. But he wore a beige suit once, and that got more press column inches than the fact that he was talking about the environment. Can you believe? So
Yeah.
scarily, it can sway conversations in the wrong way, as well as encourage people to talk to you, interact with you, and know you for the person that you are. So does that give a bit
Right.
of a summary?
That is perfect. And can I just comment and sort of give my view on what you said, because you talked about first impressions, and it is true. We only get to make that one first impression, right? A first impression is only made once. I really want to draw your attention to the fact I used to teach communication in business school, so people don't really listen to what we say when we're first introduced, right? it doesn't mean we're not communicating. It just means that we are not communicating so much via the words we say. Our subconscious is picking up on all the rest that's going on. So that is our, well, how we present, obviously, with what we wear, but also how we carry ourselves, the tone of voice we use, sort of the general air we've got, how we move. All of that is actually taking up more space in our brain than listening to the words of somebody who's talking to us for first impression. So I think that is so good to know that we don't have to be nervous about what to say when we meet people, because it's really much more about the overall effect of how we present. So that is so good that you mentioned first impressions. And you also mentioned the star personalities, and that is something really unique to you. And I would love it if we could just dive straight in and you could share with us what you can teach us about star personality.
So are we up for doing a little bit of a quiz? I don't know whether this is going to work or not, because if we are, I've got a little quiz, which is all around. So this is mainly aimed for ladies, but accessories that you wear, which will try and work out what sort of star personality you have. And I thought I could start by doing that with you. It's literally, you've got to choose some images off the screen, A, B, C, D, E, and F. That's it. And then from then I'll share with you star personality types and what they look like. And hopefully by me going through some descriptions of those star personalities, you'll start thinking, do you know what? Yeah, that's me. Or absolutely, that is not me. And once you get clear on that, that makes it really easy to put together wardrobes. And whether you like lots of clothes, whether you like capsule wardrobes, once you fundamentally understand your star personality, you're in a really good place to understand what should be in that wardrobe. So are you happy for me to share? And I'll do this
I
as a
just
little...
want to ask you, Kerry, because
Oh,
I saw your images already, and it's really difficult to choose just one. Are we allowed to choose several?
yes, you can, but you'll find there's predominantly one or two that you're more likely to be drawn
Okay.
to. So,
And then we've also got a few men watching this here live and on the replay. Is
yeah,
there anything you want to say to them before you go into the star personalities?
it works quite similarly, actually. It does work quite similarly in the sense that for guys, there are 6 star personality types, much the same as the ladies. So I'll talk about them as I go through so you can kind of see. But obviously, well, I say obviously, they may be wearing jewelry in the same way, but they may not choose to do so. So I'll talk about watches and accessories in that way as we go through, if that's okay. So, all right. So I'm going to share my screen, everybody. So hopefully you can see this. Where are we? Here we go. This one here. So can everybody see that on the screen?
Perfectly.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. Right. Okay. So this is just a little quiz. Like I said, it's not taxing in any way, shape, or form, but hopefully you can see here lots of different images of necklaces in this first case, then earrings, and then bracelets. And all I want you to do is have a look at whether the column A, B, C, D, E, or F appeals more to you than something else. And like Katrin says, it's absolutely fine to choose two, possibly 3, but 2 would be useful. So if there's 2 sorts of styles that you think, yeah, actually that's a bit of me, then that would be really good just to hone in on what it might be that you like. And just think about what you like. Don't overthink this. It's not it's not a really complicated thing. It's literally just having a look at those sorts of pictures. Is there anything there that appeals more to you than anything else?
And can we put it in the chat, Kerry?
Yeah, why not? Go for it. Yeah. So if anybody wants to put their A, B, C, D, E, and F in the chat, that would be really good. Oh, some good ones there. E or F, E or F, E and D. Yeah. Fabulous.
I'm like Sue, Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, we're the same.
So it's interesting, isn't it? And it might be, it's true to say that it might be that, different occasions you would wear different types of jewelry. So, if you're running around and not meeting people or whatever, you might choose to go something quite plain. And if you were going out, you might do something a bit more elaborate or whatever. But generally, just think about what appeals to you most out of those 3. Okay. And then I'm going to use a different type of accessory now. So has everybody kind of done that one? Yeah, it's just a top of the head thing. Yeah. If we have a look at the next one, then this is talking about shoes. So which of these shoes appeal to you more? So have a look. Again, it's the whole column. So A, B, C, D, E, or F. Which ones appeal to you most? So the top row is kind of a Heeley kind of thing, and the bottom is more your sort of casual shoes. And see if there are some there that appeal to you more than others. Again, I realise that if you're going out, you might wear something different than, you know, running around school runs or shopping or whatever. But just think overall, which ones do you appreciate or like the most? Which ones appeal to you the most? And don't worry about budgets either. This is not about whether you could afford them or not. This is just what do you like? Okay, so everybody there on that one? And I wonder if it's the same as what you chose in the previous section. So just notice if you're choosing similar or different, okay, in terms of the letters that are appealing to you. Right, and then finally, you can have a look at bags now. So have a look at these bags here. And again, same thing. So just which ones kind of have more appeal to you? Which ones do you think, oh yeah, that's the sort of thing I like, or that's the sort of thing I own? And then I'll illuminate as to what this has meant in terms of your A, B, C, D, E's or F's. So there's quite a range there. Okay, how are we getting on?
I'm just choosing like what Sue does because we've chosen the same all the time, I think.
Really? That's so funny. There you go. You
It
might
is.
be similar there. Yeah, you might be similar. Brilliant. Yeah. And I appreciate, again, you know, different bags for different occasions sometimes, but some people will just have one bag. And if that's you, that's absolutely fine. So, yeah, just think about which sorts of bags you might have that you use on a regular basis or you would like to use on a regular basis. Okay, right. So I'm going to share with you what this means. I mean, this is just a very simple exercise to try and sort of drill down into style personality. So it's not be all and end all, but in theory, if you have a look at this sort of describes the 6 different personality types. So if you chose lots of A's on those 3 different sheets or whatever in terms of jewelry, shoes and bags, it means you've got a creative side to your personality. So you might be drawn to things that are quite unique. They might be quite funky and quirky. You might shop in vintage markets, that kind of thing. So it's quite different. It's not somebody who follows fashion. You're very much your own person and you like things to kind of stand out, make a statement, but in your own individual way. So that's A's. B's are people we call dramatics, and these do tend to be people that's similar in the sense that they like bold things and they might wear statement jewelry, but they're quite keen to follow fashion. So these are the people that if there is a new trend out there for a new bag, so in the bags, for example, I put the crossbody bag in there, but I put it in gold. So it might appeal to you because gold's quite an in thing to have at the moment in terms of metallics, and it might appeal to you because crossbody bags are kind of trendy. And the same with the shoes. There's some trainers in there, but they were standard white trainers. Yeah. If you have more of the C's, that indicates that you might have sort of femininity to you. So you might like, we call it romantic personality. So things that are delicate, so pretty, feminine and tactile might appeal to you. So if you're thinking about your bags, they might have, I don't know, floral print on one of them there was there, or it might have a bow on it, or it's in a patent or something that feels very feminine and pretty, and you can imagine yourself, you know, having it. For guys, I should say for guys, this might mean that you like detail in either your clothes or you might like, so for example, watches that are a bit more interesting rather than a classic watch. So it might have different coloured dials and things like that on it, if that appeals to you. So that's romantic. D is classic. So this is people who like a timeless wardrobe. If we get to clothes, it's a timeless wardrobe. But in terms of shoes, bags, handbags, you are the sort of person that's going to buy a classic handbag because you know it's going to last you. These are investment pieces, so you might be willing to spend a little bit more on your shoes and your bags because, like I say, you're going to use them and use them and use them, so they're going to last. You might also like coordinating. So classic people often like to look quite neat, quite put together and quite coordinated. So that might have appealed to you. And in terms of shoes, yeah, there'll be things that, you know, court shoe, or it might be loafers or something like that, a classic shoe that you probably wear and wear again and that doesn't date. The E's, if there was lots of you that had E's, it might indicate that you've got what we call a natural personality. So when it comes to accessories, if you think about jewelry, these are the sorts of people that are least likely to wear it in some ways because it's something else you have to think about every day. So this is low maintenance. So if you haven't got your ears pierced, absolutely fine. If you've got them pierced, you might keep the same pair of earrings in all the time because that suits you. And it's just easier to stick with the same thing. It's more practical. In terms of shoes, you might be more inclined to choose things for comfort. They're more likely to be flat. No, flat's very in at the moment anyway, but generally speaking, you're more likely to go for flat shoes rather than anything too high. And in terms of bags, you'll be thinking about the practicality of them. So can I fit everything in that I need? Or you might be somebody that actually doesn't have a bag and literally just takes out your phone or your credit card with you because a bag is yet another thing to have to think about. So that might be you if you're a natural. And then city chic are people that like this, what people always say to me, effortlessly stylish. So if you're somebody that likes a pared back look and does like accessories, this might be for you. So you like simple accessories, you like them to look quite elegant and stylish, but not in an overtly bold or statement way. So they add something to an outfit. They can be quite classic, as in they're not patterned and things like that. So they're often neutral colours and it all goes with your outfit. But they're not really statement pieces, if that makes sense. And the same with the jewellery, more likely to have, three, I don't know, hanging different lengths of jewellery on, for example, like a three-tiered necklace, something like that might appeal to you because that's quite sort of elegant and simple rather than anything clunky and bold. So does that give you ideas? And did it ring true for anybody just in terms of accessories? Has that helped you to sort of think about what your style personality is? Does anybody want to go on? Yeah.
Can I just ask a few questions? So
Of
when
course.
You said yes, and I'm sitting here thinking that maybe I used to be more sort of in the romantic style, so frilly and flowery and sort of delicate. And with age, I'm moving into being more of the classic chic, sort of aspirational type.
Yeah.
So I'm supposing that is so normal that we change style as we
100%.
move through life.
Yeah, no, you absolutely can. You 100% can. Some people do stay the same all their lives because, that is them and they've just stayed the same all the time. Other times it will be that you change. It might be a milestone. It might be just, getting older. Different clothes work for you. Different accessories work for you. You have a different outlook on life. And you might decide that your wardrobe wants to reflect all of those things. So yeah, it can be the same all the way through. And it can be that it changes. If I take myself, I'm a B mostly in terms of this, which you probably tell by the necklace I'm wearing. But and I've always been that, to be perfectly honest with you. I've always been that. Or even as a student, I would have been wearing kind of bold statement and always trendy kind of clothes. And now I'm nearly 56 on Saturday. And yeah, that hasn't changed really. But some people, it will change, through your life. Yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll carry on to show you images now of the clothes. So the wardrobe, if we look at the wardrobe piece, if you've got an idea of your style personality, we'll now look at what might be in your wardrobe that would suit those different style personalities. So if I just carry on here, I just go down. So these are just images that are just put there to give you ideas. Don't worry if this is not you at all. The words and the images together are trying to sum up the style personality. So these are the creative people. These are the people that are different. They like being different. It's quite an eclectic look. Pattern clash and things like that would be right up these people's streets because it doesn't have to go together. They're not about matching and being neat and things like that. It is about being different, experimental. They might, mood dressing is a classic one. I got up this morning and I fancied the tartan, for example, that's just there just because I fancied it because that was my mood today. I wanted to be a bit out there. So they're often mood dressy, arty kind of people. And you might have bits of this in you without it having to be the whole part of your personality. So that's one that sort of look at creative. And here are just some more images as well, just again showing you. You've got pattern clash there. You've got the big earrings. You've got sequins underneath a denim jacket. So, if you weren't creative, you wouldn't think to layer a shirt, then a sequin top, and then a jacket over the top. It's quite a different sort of look. And then obviously, you can see all the images there. Very colourful, very out there, very creative. So is there anybody who's going to put their hand up and say they're one of those, I wonder? Or put a little note in the chat. Did we have any creatives in the room? Doesn't sound like it. No, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because generally speaking, the people that are creative do their own thing all the time. So, so a workshop that's talking about personal brand may not appeal so much because they've got such a unique creative brand that they kind of do it themselves, if that makes sense. So I rarely see clients that want help with their wardrobes because they've got this eclectic wardrobe and they're very happy to kind of put it together in their own way. So that's creatives. Anybody that then is dramatic, here's a few more images for you to have a look at. So yeah, you can see eye-catching. Yeah, it's all about fashion. It's striking. It's bold. It's about following trends, standing out, impactful. You can see Iris Apfel there. She got to 100 and, was it 103 or 104? Bless her. She's not with us now, but the Iris Apfel's the one with the big black glasses, etc. Very, very out there. So if any of this appeals to you, it's definitely, it's full on fashion and it's not afraid to be quite dramatic with it. So you can see that second image on the left there, the shoulder detail. You know, you're going to get noticed if you wear something like that, put it that way. So it is a look. You might turn heads, you might like turning heads, but you can do this in less of an out there way. So if you look at Victoria Beckham, they're in her red dress. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's bold and things, but it's not quite as outlandish as the big shoulder white blouse. So it's dramatic, but there's degrees of drama, I think, that you can have in your wardrobe. So that's dramatics, and here's a few more images. Again, just using that necklace that I used before, and you can see there the animal print, which is massive this season again. Jewelry, different color clashes, very statement looks, asymmetric, putting different stripes together. Probably get an idea about what that looks like. Yeah. Okay. And then there are a few of you that said C's, weren't there? So this is the more feminine, romantic style personality. And if this is you, honestly, I'm in the process of putting together the trends for this season to share with people. And I've just been pinning lots of these sorts of images because boho chic is around this season. So if this is you, you might like to either shop your own wardrobe, is what I always say, but otherwise there are definitely things in the shops that might tempt you. So think about frills and ruffles and floral prints and lace and pretty detailing and soft fabrics and floaty fabrics in gentle sort of colorways. That's kind of what this style personality is. So that might appeal to you if you have a bit of sort of romantic femininity in your style personality. And here's a few more examples. Again, very sort of delicate and yeah, feminine, pretty and girly. Details on shoes, you can see there, swishy, long dresses, that kind of thing. You might be somebody who likes to put your hair up or down. You like playing with your hair. You might like to play with makeup as well. So you would just love expressing the femininity of yourself. And then classic. So this is, I think this is what you were saying, Katrine, isn't it? In terms of you've maybe moved more towards this sort of style personality. So a true classic likes clothes that honestly you could have had for years and years and years in your wardrobe, which is very good because it means we're recycling and reusing. So things like the little Chanel jackets, things like a blazer, things like a white shirt, or in that case there, the sort of, you know, pinstripe blue and white shirts, which will be around forever. Breton stripes, another one, classic, you know, sort of look that you'll see all the time. These people tend to like to be coordinated, like I say, so there's got a bit more coordination to it. And of all the personality types, they like the most dressed up look. So the idea of, I know there's jeans in that picture, but the idea of jeans is like the most casual they'll ever get. You wouldn't find in most people's wardrobes that have got this personality, there won't be a pair of joggy bottoms, there won't be sweatshirts. The jeans won't have holes in them, or they won't be sort of, you know, more relaxed, scruffy kind of jeans. They're more likely to be neat and put together, if that makes sense. And it is quite a timeless style. So, and you can see, you've got two pictures of Kate Middleton there, so you can see her more casually and then more dressed up as well. And she has definitely got a classic personality, whether that's because she chooses to be like that or whether that's her role sort of demands it a little bit. Is questionable, but definitely everything she wears usually ticks the sort of classic box. And again, here's some more examples of classic star personality. They're the sorts of clothes, honestly, they genuinely, you can find them in the shops most of the year round, and they don't really go out of fashion. They're kind of, you know, little cardigan set, very easy, suits, little boleros over a nice smart dress, that kind of thing, your loafers, very easy clothes to sort of have in the wardrobe and keep wearing and wearing. So that's classic. And then we've got this one, which is relaxed styling. So this is natural. This is people who probably 9 times out of 10 either have a casual lifestyle or would prefer to dress casually most of the time. So even if you're somebody that has to be relatively dressed up for work, your preference still would be for it to feel comfortable. So comfortable is the byword for these people. Something that feels comfortable is more likely to be natural fabrics, that kind of thing, more dressed down than dressed up. So it is an informal, relaxed styling. So you can see there, there's sort of jeans jackets and t-shirt with a skirt, or just a pair of jeans with plain t-shirt would be just equally as good. It's very, very relaxed. And here's some more images just to show you. So again, you've got sort of stretchy trousers there with nice stretchy, comfortable jumpers, flat shoes, flat boots, yeah, jeans and an easy top. If anybody likes Balkin, I don't know if anybody's aware of that brand, but it's very that kind of feel to it. This is quite relaxed, everyday kind of styling. Okay, and then the last one is, we call it chic. So these sorts of people, this is the one I get asked the most about, actually. So oftentimes this is what people aspire to be, even though they are or aren't that kind of personality. So oftentimes I'm asked to help people to look effortlessly chic. And what they see in other people, and if this is you, this is what might appeal to you, is a very simple style. So it's simple styling, but it looks quite elegant. So it is often, you know, not too many colours. They often don't like patterns. So you might get an animal print thrown in every now and again, but not lots of patterns, not florals, not very busy. In other words, it's quite a sort of uncluttered, pared back look. And it's seen as, you know, quite stylish because often it's monochrome top to toe, pair of sunglasses, a little bit of a bag, something like that. You play around with the accessories rather than necessarily all the clothes that go with it. And here's some more images so you can kind of see some other things that sort of shout chic to me. So these people often will like to have their nails done. So, you know, little things are important, presentation is important. It might be that they've added a scarf. So you can see there, the khaki jacket, the lady at the top left sort of thing, khaki jacket, but then a little bit of interest going on with a scarf and a nice watch. Or it can be a simple dress like you've got down the bottom there. These people like accessories. So yeah, the scarves and handbags and shoes is often what people will choose to play around with, and then keep the actual clothes they wear quite simple. Does that kind of summarize it for people? So that was my walkthrough of all these various different star personality types. I'm going to stop sharing now so we can have more of a conversation about it and see what you thought and whether what you first chose in the accessories quiz actually lived up to what I then showed you afterwards. So let's just stop sharing and see what people say in terms of what you found out about yourself. So is there anybody here that would like to sort of comment on their star personality, whether it's, I don't know, whether you chose the accessories that fitted with that star personality type or not? How did it sound? Did anything ring true to you? Do you go, oh yeah, I'm definitely a blah, blah star personality or not? Go, Sue.
Yeah, mine definitely. I was a D, and I'm pretty classic, and with F as well. I do like it easy. So I'd much rather accessorize and do that with the scarves and the nails and just have monochrome. I mean, I'm not a petite woman, so I you know, I've been told, oh, you should wear anything and everything, but I just don't see myself wearing large flower patterns.
No, and that's brilliant. Honestly, what you've just said there is perfect. If you don't see yourself doing it, don't do it. Honestly, this is all about channeling yourself and wearing the clothes that feel like you, because that's the time when you're going to show up as the person you are, and then people get that from you. Do you know, if you don't like floral prints, please don't go buying floral prints, even if some well-meaning shop assistant or friend says to you, you look lovely in, you know, big floral prints. Yeah, it's not you. So those are the sorts of clothes that I often find stay hanging in people's wardrobes because they were encouraged to buy something that isn't really them, and then they don't choose to wear it. So it's the sort of thing that stays in the wardrobe unworn because it's
Yeah.
not really you, so you wouldn't pick it.
Yeah, I love your look. I love the navy and the dark and the green
Yeah.
and the dress behind you. I would
Oh,
dare
yeah.
to wear, but but that, yeah, but this big jewelry, no. I mean,
Yeah.
I might go with a double, necklace here, but yeah, I mean, I love the classic look that you have there with just the navy and the green. It's just
perfect. Yeah, so it sounds like you're absolutely, I would say you've got a classic personality, which is absolutely fabulous.
yeah.
What about the other Sue then? Sorry, Sue, you've got your hand up there, I can see. Oh, you're on mute, I think, Sue. Oh, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. It's all lovely when it's presented to me. I know exactly who I am. My biggest point is I make the most disastrous mistakes. I can't believe I do it. I thought I'd been trained well enough, but that's the next bit. How do you get us to not be taken? You go into a shop and you think that's absolutely lovely, put it on, and you think, well, I bought it and I don't like it at all.
So are you buying
Nice.
things that you like in terms of that they tick your style personality, or are you getting persuaded into things that aren't you and then you're not wearing them?
Both. So
Both.
I can actually choose something. I think, yes, I think that would look good with that, but I don't have anything for that to go with. And it doesn't look right because there's nothing that goes with it. So
Right.
style wise, I think it's nice. I think it emphasizes that what I know I am is right. It's the next stage on.
Yeah, I understand. So all I would say in answer to that is buy things in outfits at the same time, rather than just grabbing a top that you see and then get it home and then go, oh, I've got nothing to put with it. It's kind of about clever shopping in a way. It's about buying things that you know already go together, or already have in your head what you've already got in your wardrobe before you head to the shop, so you know you're only looking for the top to go with X or Y.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right, and then we've got Wendy who says that she sees things she likes, but for instance, with her hair, it doesn't necessarily lend itself. And I would say the same for me. Like I'm very, very tiny. So I find that some of the things I like on other people, well, they just don't look good on me. And that's so infuriating, isn't it?
Yeah, we have got the bodies we've got. So I too am really tiny. If you put me in a massive big print, so if I was to choose a floral print and I put a massive big floral print on me, it would wear me. So there are some things that just don't look right because of, our own physique. And that is very true. And it's the same you just said, Wendy, about your hair. If you've got curly hair and it doesn't do what you want it to do, there's not an awful lot you can do about that. Your hairdresser is the one that will know your hair. So I do give advice in terms of hair color and hair styles that will suit, but I have no knowledge in terms of, the actual texture of people's hair. So yeah, if you've got curly hair and you're wanting it to go sleek and straight, I know that can be more of a challenge. So it's about asking your hairdresser how, what products you can use or how you can take care of the hair in order to put that shape in it, perhaps. But there are going to be limitations, aren't there? We can't, create straight hair if you've got curly hair, that kind of thing. So, and if you're petite, certain things will work more so than others. So I kind of get what you're saying in terms, and sometimes it's fashion as well, I have to say. So as I said, I've just been doing all the fashion slides, and there's loads of oversized clothes out there. It's been a fashion for a while now. Oversized drowns me, absolutely drowns me. So I might like it on other people, but there's absolutely little point for me to, bother playing around with oversized, because it's just not going to do it for me. And that when I put it on, I don't get that feeling. And going back to that feeling, yes, I know it's fashionable and I do like fashion, but I put it on and go, oh no, that's not me. It's just not me. So it's you have to, as long as you understand your style personality, it helps you to have a look at what you do and don't like. And then from then it's about, okay, is the color, is the color going to work for me? Is the style going to work for me? Do the necklines work? Do the pattern size work? All those good things that come afterwards. But definitely style personality is the first style, point before you buy anything or wear anything. It's just getting really, really clear on what you do and don't like, so that you can say no, actually, is a really good way of seeing it. You can go, do you know what? No, I'm not going to do that oversized trend, or no, I don't look great in burgundy, or whatever the thing may be, so that you really hone in on who you are and what works for you. Does that answer your question? Who else has said, oh, I seem to wear the same thing a lot. Yeah.
I think it does. But let's go over to Jill, and then we'll move on because
Yeah,
time
perfect.
is flying when you're having fun.
Hi, ladies. I want Katrine's hair, if that's all right. I think her hair looks gorgeous. And looking at those styles, I'm a classic, relaxed, chic style.
Yeah.
Unless I'm aspiring to one of those, I don't know. But like you two, I don't even hit the 5'2" mark, so I struggle. And my biggest thing is working from home. We're all trendy and cash, but when you go out to the office, you kind of got to go back into the heels, and I'm not doing that anymore. I'm too old to go back into heels. So how do you find a nice pair of shoes that suit a short person that wants to be chic? I don't find anything that really makes me look, you know.
So is it acceptable in your world, or is it not acceptable to do the whole trainers with a dress type look, or is that too casual for your workplace?
A bit too casual, really, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of people have gone to that because that's kind of, there's lots of more casual sort of office wear at the moment. If not, have you tried sort of a block heel? It doesn't have to be chunky block, but just a block heel. So it elevates the foot a little bit, but you're not loitering around on stilettos like we used to.
Yeah, well, thank goodness they're in the fashion as well, aren't they? But what you were saying earlier about not being in fashion, I think it's absolutely right. We've got to do what we're comfortable with, but at the same time, still look put together. And that's, I think, what I find a struggle. I think the top tip you said earlier, Kerry, about buy the outfit, don't buy like a t-shirt and take it home and wonder what you're going to put it with. You've got to buy the whole thing at the same time, and then you've got a series of outfits to wear that hopefully will mix and match if you're following a style. So
yes. Honestly, I know that means spending a little bit more money, but ultimately it means saving money because the things you buy you will wear. Whereas if you buy one thing, I call it an orphan item in your wardrobe, and it just stays there, you've just wasted that money.
yeah.
So if you can buy in a capsule, that's even better. So a few things that mix and match because you get lots of outfits. So if you ever want any ideas, if you go on my website, I've done a work one that might work for you, Jill. I don't know how formal your workplace is, but there's 26 items and it makes 30 days worth of outfits.
Oh, cool.
So not suggesting that you all need to go and buy 26 items, but you've probably got a good proportion of that already in your wardrobe. So sometimes it's just about re-looking at what you've already got and then seeing, are there any just little missing gaps that you could fill that create the, pull it all back together.
Just quickly, what's your favourite shop for short people?
Oh, so short. I don't know about short people because I'm happy to bespoke. I'm happy to go and get things shortened and things because I think again it's about if I love something and I have to pay £20 to get it shortened, I know I'm going to wear it.
Right.
So I haven't got I'm a Karen Millen kind of person. I love all the fitted, that's my thing. I wish it was still on the high street, but you have to do it online now. But that's probably where I would go. But I'm also Zara. I'm also all over the place, to be honest. I like lots of different fashions. But yes, the petite thing is quite a challenge. I don't know if you go on Next Directory and you can use the petite tab and sort that way, and you can do it on John Lewis as well. I don't know where you're based, but yeah, whether anything like that helps.
I think winter coats are the worst thing for me because all the sleeves are like really long and that does cost a bit of money to shorten them.
It does.
But yeah, thank you. Good.
No worries.
Right. So Marianne is saying, I'm bored with being classic city chic. How do I be more brave if I buy outside of my box? It doesn't suit me.
But wow, two questions there. So if it's not suiting, is it because you're putting it on and then you're feeling like it's not you? Or is it because it literally doesn't suit you in terms of body shape and, the fit of the item? So I don't know which that might be.
So while Marianne answers that, maybe I could just ask you a question regarding that too, because when we put something on and we look in the mirror and we see, oh, horror, dread, this isn't me at all, then what does that really say? Does it mean that it's not our personality, or does it mean that we can sort of grow into it, or what does that mean? What can we do with that information, Kerry?
So number one, recognise that's really good information. That's good feedback for you straight away because there's something about it that's not working. Then it's the working out what it is about it that's not working. So is it that it's, I don't know, a bold colour and you don't like bold colours or they don't suit you so much and it's overwhelming you, for example? Or is it the fit of it that you're looking at it and thinking, oh my goodness, this is really not, making the most of me. So again, going back to my oversized sort of argument. When I put something oversized on, I look in the mirror and think, ugh, because it just does nothing for me whatsoever. So it could be fit, it could be colour, it could be the whole, like you're saying, it's not your star personality. So it's trying to sort of ask yourself, what is it you don't like about the item that's in front of you?
Getting really specific, I think, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. So
Yeah.
maybe Marianne, with your question, maybe you can contact Carrie after when
More
we're
than welcome.
done and get some really personalized advice, and was just solve that problem right here, right there, right? So if we could move on now, I'm sure you've got tons more questions, as I have, but I want to be respectful of your time and of the time of the people on the replay. So I think we should just sort of start going deeper, because we've been talking about how you can express your personality basically in what you wear. So can we also just talk about the other way around, how what you wear influences your personality, right? Because we don't think so much about that yet. For those of you who know me, you know that I used to be on stage, and I used to wear the most splendid costumes, like notably from the 19th century, you know, where they had long dresses and it was flowy and it was fitted and it was beautiful. And when you put that on and you walk across the stage, you just don't walk as if you're wearing jeans and trainers, right? So wearing that just made me realize that actually what I'm wearing is also influencing not just how I feel, but how I move and how I obviously feel about myself. So it's sort of as if you had another personality injected into you. And I find that really so fascinating. And we talked about this, Carrie, when we prepared today, that Amy Cuddy has done a lot of research into what I call kinesthetic self-talk, which is how our movement, how we are sort of aware of the space, how we move in that space, how that self-talk is also influencing us. And she talks about power poses. I'm sure you've heard about that. Otherwise, I'll share it. Yes, TED Talk, that's it. I can put the link in there too. So she talks about how it's not just what goes on in our brain that has us behave out here in the world, has us be us with other people. It's also like the body and the impressions we get from all our senses. So what I'm suggesting is that when we get dressed in the morning, we are already talking to ourselves. So being a life coach, I talk a lot about self-talk, positive and negative, but there's also that kinesthetic talk that is going on, not to talk about our visual context and all of that. But I would love to know, Carrie, what your ideas are on that, because I think we can actually dress for how we want to feel. What's your take on that?
Yeah, 100%. If anybody wants another well, as I say, book to read or something to read. I've mentioned this one before to other people, but there's a book by Dawn Karen, and it's called The Psychology of Fashion. And she talks about how you can use clothes, and you can have mood enhancement dressing and you can have mood reflection dressing. So you can choose things that reflect your mood, but you can also use clothes to enhance your mood. And typically she's talking about putting a bright colour on, or something that makes you feel, I don't know, warm and loved and all those good things. So textures can make a difference to how you feel. If you put something silky on, oftentimes we associate that with like going out and things like that, don't we? So it can make you feel more sensuous and more sexy and that kind of thing. So you can certainly sort of have feelings that come from just the touch of fabrics, or like you're saying, by putting something on, you almost like embody that sort of that feeling of the person that might wear something like that, especially when you're acting like you're saying, Katrine. So yeah, clothes have got this power, it's sort of, you know, again, this mindset connection, that they set you up for the day and they can make you feel really great about yourself, or you can put something on that can absolutely sort of bring you down. And it's nothing to do with the, you know, the thing, it's to do with how you feel about it. So oftentimes people, when they're poorly, will put on really, you know, I'd call it slobby clothes, but you know what I mean, really, really, you know, your last thing you want to be seen in, your gardening clothes or whatever. We put that kind of thing on because we feel poorly, but actually that can sometimes make us feel worse, because we go into that mind space of feeling ugh and not great about ourselves. Whereas sometimes just putting on something that lifts your spirits a little bit, even if it's a different colour cardigan or something, because you still want to be, you know, wrapped up if you're not feeling well and things, but just adding injection of colour can make a massive difference to how you're going to feel. So yeah, if you want that book to have a read, that's Dawn Karen, and it's The Psychology of Fashion, if you want to do some more reading around the subject. But I 100% agree with you. It makes a massive difference how you start your day.
You just talked about that feeling of, oh, we're ill, so I'll put on my most dreadful sweatpants and my most holy t-shirt, and I'll just sort of nourish that idea that I'm not at my best, right? And people want to argue with me on that, because I think, well, why wouldn't I want to every day look my best? Like, so that doesn't mean that it's the best or it's better than other people or I need to compare or anything. But why wouldn't I want to look my best in all situations, really, whether I'm, I don't know, at the beach, at the office, sick in bed, or whatever it is? What is really the value of that, do you think, of having that aspiration of always looking your best?
Well, for me, it's all about that positive mindset. Why would you want to not feel that positivity? So I would 100% endorse what you've just said. You want to feel positive. We want to feel the best we can, don't we? And it's not, like you say, it's not comparative. Yeah. I don't know if other people have that same experience. Yeah.
Well, often my clients say, well, do you know, I just want to hang around in my pajamas and blah, blah, blah. Yes, and there's a time for that, of course. We can't always be wearing high heels and I don't know what it'd be for men, or a tie perhaps. Like, that is not my idea. But I think with what we've just been talking about, with the information that goes both ways, like you are being yourself outwardly, and then also you're informing your self-concept inwardly. So with that going on, I think we always want to wear, even if we're ill, our most gorgeous pajamas, right? And have our homeopathic tea in the most gorgeous teacup, really. I can't see why not.
Yeah, I agree with you. Wendy's just said, actually, she remembers her mum always dressed up and never left the house. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. It's about feeling good for yourself, isn't it? It's about feeling good for yourself.
It is, yeah. So you are actually allowed to take out your best just to swan around the house, right, if you want to. You can wear a ball gown on a Monday morning if you want to, and you can also just dress up for yourself. And I think there's a lot of value in that, because you're talking to yourself all the time anyway. So why not have some supportive self-talk going on here, is what I'm saying. So people are always surprised that I'm so, I don't want to say obsessed, but really interested in how my clients dress, because it's so important for who we are, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Sarah says that she doesn't agree. This sounds a bit self-obsessed. Yes, maybe it is self-obsessed, but then I think, well, we're here as ourselves. So if we're not obsessed with ourselves, doesn't mean we don't consider other people, right? But I think if I'm wearing my most gorgeous pajamas, being ill in bed, it doesn't take anything away from anybody, and it actually supports me. So I think wanting what's best for me at any time really just supports other people in wanting it for themselves. And I think as long as what I do doesn't take anything away from other people, then it's okay to be self-obsessed. I don't know if anybody else has got an opinion on that, or Sarah, if you want to come back to me. Yeah, so Wendy's saying I go to my neighbours and she's always dressed and looking nice. It encouraged me to do the same. Right. Right, it does. And I think I get inspired by seeing people dress beautifully. I was recently in Milan and I went to the opera, and it's, wow, you think people dress like this, they look so gorgeous. It's part of my experience of going to the opera then, isn't it? Like, I get to see all these beautifully dressed people, and well, it's like really a gift to people around them, I think. I don't know if it's self-obsessed, but it really gives me pleasure. Okay, so Sarah agrees to disagree, right? That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to add to that, Carrie?
Not really. I guess I would just say it's about being yourself. So if you're somebody, so maybe this is Sarah, but if you're somebody who prefers to dress in a more casual way, this isn't about having to look very polished or whatever all the time. It's just about you being you. So if you being you is a more casual way, then that's you being your best. Do you know what I mean? We're not trying to say everybody's got to be dressed to the nines all of the time. Well, I'm not anyway. So I just encourage you to wear whatever feels right for you. Whatever feels comfortable for you. But yes, choose things that you really, really do like. That's the whole point of it. Yeah.
And Tim is saying, even when working from home days, making the effort drives me through the day. Yeah, making the effort. I love that.
Yeah, do you know, I hear that from people all the time, Tim, actually, about it's this mindset thing. If you wear something that puts you into work mode, your brain is in a different place because it just signals. It's like an anchor, isn't it? It just signals to your brain, right, I am in work mode today. And people do read things about the way you're dressed, so it works from that perspective as well. But yeah, a lot of people can sometimes forget that it sends other messages to to other people when you're on calls because they're at home, so they're very, very relaxed or whatever. But I would also always say to people, sort of dress as if you were meeting people. So if that's important in what you do, then think about it for Zoom calls as well, because we are all taking in these visual clues as much as we would if we were stood in a room all together.
Exactly, and I'd say even more so because we don't have as much of the other information, right? We don't see the person move as much, so we don't see a lot around them, a lot of the context. So that makes it even more important.
Yeah.
Right. So bearing in mind we've only got 5 minutes left, have we got any questions for Carrie? Or any questions on how to bring your personality out in what you wear, or any closing comments?
Wendy, I agree with you. Just reading in the chat there, you're saying about first impressions, people see you dress nicely and tend to care for you better. Yeah, it's true. We are all, we are visual beings. We are programmed to take in those visual clues, like we said at the beginning. So, if you show you care, people will show you care. So yeah, I would agree with you. Right. Any questions, anybody, please do feel free to ask me anything about anything. You're very welcome to.
Or you can do what somebody else is doing right now, is to want to get in contact with Carrie. So Carrie, could you share perhaps, you talked about your website where there's useful information. Could you also talk to us about how to get in touch with you, please?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So my website is literally my name. So it's www.kerryellis.co.uk. Annoyingly, my Christian name is spelt with an E at the end. So you have 2 E's in the middle. So it's KERRIEELLIS.co.uk. There are videos on there. There's loads of blogs on there. Like I said, I've been doing this for about 18 years now. So there's probably something on every topic you can imagine. There's a little search bar as well. So you're very welcome to search things on my website and have a read. And then if you'd like to go, I send a newsletter. I only send one a month because I don't like, sending lots and lots and clogging up people's inboxes. But if you'd like to be on my newsletter, again, there's just a sign-up sheet there. And I don't know if Katrine's going to share that as well. And then I've got an offer for anybody if you would like to. So if you'd like an appointment, if you'd like to some style advice or anything like that, you can have a look at the sort of consultations I offer for men and for women. And I'm offering 10% off. And all you do is book a consultation and put SEP 18 as in today's date. So SEP 18 in the checkout, and you'll get 10% off of any of the consultations that I offer. So, but please just email me anyway and ask questions. I'm more than happy to do that. So hope that helps.
So that could be a good place to start if you want to revise your style. And please email us if you've got any more questions. If you're here, it must mean you have got the Zoom link. So wherever you found this Zoom link, you can always get in touch with you. I'll be sending out the replay. In the email going out with the replay, there will be a link to Carrie's website. If you don't know me, then please feel free to go to my website too. It's myname.com. Also, I'd be very happy to meet up with you if you want a consultation so that we can discuss how you can be more you, meaning without the people pleasing, without the perfectionism, without the procrastination. So you're welcome to contact both Kerry and myself if you feel that you want to take this further. So thank you very much for having spent this whole hour with us. If you're on the replay, you can still comment in the comment box below, or you can reach out via email to Kerry or to myself. As I said, if you respond to the email with this link to the replay, you will also have our email address. So everybody's saying thank you. And can I also take the time to say thank you to you, Kerry? This was most informative and I think also inspiring.
Oh, thank you very much. It was super to meet everybody. Thank you so much. And if anyone wants any help, please do just reach out. Very happy to speak to anybody anytime.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Katrine.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for staying and thank you for all your interesting comments and questions. We're looking forward to staying in touch. Thank you very much for sharing this moment with us. Bye for now.